Hello, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. One of our favourite ones. I say this, I think, every video. One of our favourite ones. It is one of our favourite ones. That's why I say it. So I'm not lying to you. EnergyWeb Foundation, EWT. This is a great project. We cover a few others in this sector, like Power Ledger as well. And for me, these two in particular are fantastic. But EnergyWeb is the topic today. And we went through many different partnerships a couple of weeks ago that EWT were announcing left, right, and centre. It's actually brilliant to see. To be fair, over the last year or so that we've been talking about EnergyWeb, they have come out with some absolute stonkers of news and information. We've covered a variety of topics when we had the fuel crisis here in the UK and about the whole transitional perspective of pushing more people to EVs, the aspect of how EnergyWeb will be fueling and having the infrastructure in place for blockchain technology for these kind of aspects, and also some potential integration with other things like Vodaphone. We looked at the spectrum of the European Commission involving like IOTA and all these projects, not saying they're working collectively, but they're certainly working under the same radar as a potential solution to many different problems or identifiable issues that we need to fix to help push the world in a better format. Now, I'm super excited because we did many videos a while back. I'll try and leave a link right now in the corner and in the end of this video about the partnerships around Vodafone, etc. And finally, we've seen the fruition of this. So there's a video to watch on a couple of these articles. Really interesting to see. This is about 2 minutes long. I won't play it now because that's kind of lazy from my side. But yeah, do go check that out. It's really cool. We'll leave a link in the description as well for you. Just a brief intro, how Vodafone is being used and via SIM cards within the cards, and conveniently DIDs of cars, which we mentioned many moons ago, are all coming to play. Finally, we don't look silly. Finally, people are believing, that we know what we are talking about, and that this is indeed on our doorsteps. Newbury, not far from me, I know the Vodafone offices very well there, have been trialling the EV communication autonomously. Now, this is the most important part, is the automation of everything. This is what we talk about on many videos. The aspect of blockchain is not about NFTs necessarily. It's not all about cryptocurrencies. It's about the tokenomics aspect of automation and making our lives faster, more efficient, building the economy faster as well, and making sure that we don't have all these hundreds of different apps, these hundreds of different ways of doing things. And the interoperability around the world is really important as well, so that you don't have to change things around when you go to a different country or this, that, and the other. The fact of the matter is, when blockchain is fully secured and in play, we will just have an interoperable platform that you won't even know that's going on in the background, but it just works. It's like those old Honda adverts when you say, isn't it great when everything just works? That is exactly what it will be like. You would probably have, if you spoke to someone that didn't know about crypto or anything like that, or you just oblivious to it, whatever, you would just see this as normal things. You wouldn't know what's powering it. You wouldn't know how it's all working. And this demonstration is basically, where you've got like 5-10 different, it's like parking. I don't know how many of you out there are like mega annoyed that you have like 10 different parking apps on your phone, right? And you're like, which one is this car park? And then you have to you might lose the logins and you've got like 20 different logins. It's crazy, right? So this is using a platform to essentially accumulate all of these different platforms in one, using the tokenomics aspect to pay, but also the SIM card registration used on blockchain for the autonomous automated payments. This means your car is now a transactional mobile vehicle. It means that you can just transfer yourself across cities, across landscapes, and go through houses that have hotspots, for example, and charge your car wirelessly as it goes through it. The same technology we have with our wireless charging phones right now. But you won't have to sit there and go, oh, I must pay for this. The car does it for you because it's all linked to your system. It's linked to your DID. Imagine if you're getting into a taxi that's driving by itself. You just scan the button. It knows who you are, what you are going to be doing, where you're going, and it will just do it for you. You won't even need to get your phone out. In fact, the phone is just a stepping stone in itself as well. These phones won't exist potentially in 10, 20 years' time. We'll be talking about like AR, the actual ability of maybe chipsets inside us to be able to just wander around and have these things done automatically. It sounds nonsense, but it's already in development, guys, whether you like it or not. And they'll find a way for sure to put us on these systems, as we've seen over the last few years. This is a really, really cool topic. Of course, MasterCard being in the background as well. MasterCard are doing a lot with blockchain and crypto right now, as are Visa, to be fair. But of course, MasterCard, maybe we announced, I think, last year, the integration of XRP as an example. They're not stupid. They know that SWIFT is going to be replaced eventually, and all these chat payments and this, that, and the other, these slow systems. They're not slow. I mean, they've been incredible technologically wise, as they've been there, but they're now in a situation where they need to be changed. So Vodaphone's digital asset broker, the likes of this IoT economy, the Internet of Things, we talk about a lot with IoTX and IOTA. In general, IoT is gigantic. We're talking about multi-billions, billions upon billions of transactional opportunities. What I mean by transactions, as I've said in previous videos, it's not necessarily just currency transactions, but the actual action. An action of something being done automatically is essentially a transaction and will be utilizing tokenomics to work in the blockchain environment. Computing power is crazy, guys. I do recommend that you do more research, if you haven't done so already, in blockchain technology, what it's about, why it's being used, the integration of IoT products, how is it going to benefit us. Indeed, the other side of the coin, is this going to make us more lazy? Is this going to be more control that we lose? There's many really interesting topical aspects. It's why I was reading an article on LinkedIn the other day from some people, I think, at Salesforce, and they were talking about everyone talking about NFTs and getting excited about, but actually, what's the downside to all this? And it's totally a legitimate question, because everyone's just jumping on board, making money, but not realizing that actually some of this might just be demising society, or indeed the way we operate as human beings, without knowing it. So it's really interesting, cool topic. I get excited about talking about stuff like this. It's been on my radar for a number of years. When I first found out about blockchain, I finally clicked in my head what's going on, how the agenda programs are working and going to be working. And I made my decision and my path. And for sure, right now, it's going to plan. So yeah, really exciting to see this. Of course, as well, just to add, a few other projects that I do hold in my bags. I don't do too many videos of these guys actually. Fetch AI is absolutely phenomenal. Again, very on the sort of road to like IOTA and IoTX and things like that. But it's really cool. Bosch, obviously humongous, and this MOBI. We've talked about this so many times, guys, in some of our videos. It's finally coming together, look. So it's also partnered with EWT startup Fetch AI and mobility consortium MOBI. It's working on the new economy of movement, focusing on the economy of things for everything related to travel. Really cool stuff, that is. We did indeed report all of this before as well. So do go check out those videos. But absolutely brilliant. And finally, before we go into the chart, it's estimated there are currently 13.8 billion IoT devices, which is expected to rise to 30.9 billion by 2025. You tell me whether this is going places or not. And it's important. I don't invest in meme coins. I'm way more interested in utility, and even things that look like they're not moving at all right now, but I know that they'll be moving, I can assure you, by 2025, because we are on the brink of everything being switched on under everyone's radar if you're not in the crypto or blockchain space. Really exciting stuff, guys. Let's jump into the chart of EWT. Now, it doesn't transpire just yet to the excitement of all these articles and these pieces of information. You're probably sat there thinking, well, why is it not moving up? Well, we did have that news article a few days ago, and it did indeed react to that. But we've had the tail down because this is quite a nice little bit of profit to be had for sure if you're a big holder of EWT. I've got quite a bit, I say quite a bit, it's actually a small amount in the staking platform. I wasn't quick enough. I did want to get more in there, but I can assure you I've been purchasing especially right now at EWT under $5, which is crazy. I remember I was buying some and DCAing around $11-12, thinking, oh, this is cheap. And I still believe that is a cheap price compared to where it will be. But I am for sure not ever going to miss out on these crazy opportunities at these stupid low regions. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion based on what I believe with EnergyWeb, as well as other projects that we talk about in this kind of space. I think that when you look back in a few years' time, we will be laughing at these prices for sure. We're in a bit of a downward trend right now, taking up the end piece of this over-purchasing wave here. Down on this MACD histogram. Let's look at this MACD as well. We did switch over. It'd be very interesting if this gap narrows and we bounce off and keep it in a good momentum. But like all the other charts at the moment, there's so much inconsistency and so much lack of confidence going on because of the world narratives and things like this taking place. It's no surprise to me really at this moment in time to see that probably come back down a bit further. But I am for sure, I've got buy orders, which we'll go into in a second. But from a buying perspective, me personally, I'm very happy, as you know, around these 14, 28 day markers, around that 40 mark. That's a really good entry point. But I will be making my moves slightly low as well, as we did a few weeks ago and more recently a few days ago as well, back at these lower levels of around 30, 32. So really interesting opportunities coming back around. On the 90 days, it's important to understand as well, we have had a nice stabilization of that 90 day, which is trying to really keep confirming that these are good areas of positions for me to purchase. This is down to your own research and what you want to do in your own strategies, but that's what I'm doing personally. But like I said, I'm just waiting. I've got a bag right now this morning, and I will be indeed waiting just a bit longer to see what's occurring as the weekend develops. The weekly on the performance here is looking relatively strong. The others aren't so much. But like I said, I'm not here for now. I'm here for a few years' time. And this is for sure one of the projects. People always say like, oh, it's quite expensive compared to other ones. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're demonstrating two different complete assets at two complete different areas of their life cycles. $4 might be very different to when you're buying penny stocks, of course. But, you've got to understand what EnergyWeb is and where it is and the amount of investment in it and who's behind it and what it's doing. That's why I say this is cheap compared to probably where it will be. People ask me for price predictions. I don't do too many of those unless we're sort of seeing proper movements. But my indicators really would suggest that if we do get a proper bull run, whether that be this year or indeed into 2025, I do believe at least by 2025 we are looking at well over $100 in my opinion of a price point for EWT. We'll have to see how that plays out. But that's where I'm sort of thinking in my mindset that we could actually probably push more towards the $200. It really depends on the switch on momentum and these continuous developments that are going on, like we've just demonstrated earlier today in the video. But for buy order perspectives, I'm very interested back down at this level here, not quite on the Fib retracement, but slightly lower, matching where we were pretty much at the end of February. I've got a buy order back in at $4.7, and I will indeed have one slightly lower, maybe not so much this complete drop down, but I'm interested in this lower region here that we saw on this downtake on the 28th of February. So we'll be putting a buy order in just under the $4.5 mark as well. Will I do one lower? I do indeed have a bag ready at the lower regions of $4. I think I put it actually at like 3.9 something, just in case. But that is probably something I might change if the development occurs that we get support at these areas and start tailing up a bit more. I'll probably remove that at some point and maybe adjust it slightly, not all the way back up here. I do believe every now and then you can get the leverage failures and complete drop downs like you saw here, for example. I mean, if I say, for example, we're down here or here already and then we get a leverage drop, you are looking at those lower below $4 regions. So it's always worth sometimes just having a small pot available, in my opinion. Other than that, guys, that wraps that up. I'm super excited for EWT and further developments that will be occurring this year for sure. Do check out our previous videos on EWT. I'll leave a couple of them at the end of this one, but we'll jump back on with EnergyWeb in probably a few days time or towards the latter end of next week. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.